Hey everyone, welcome to the second video in this mini-series Getting Started in Shares. In the first video we talked about what shares are and why they're important. In this video we're talking about planning and why it is essential to give yourself the best shot at success when you're investing in shares. So why shares? Why are shares important to you? And the reason you're watching this video is because you may think that shares could help you achieve one of your financial goals or more of your financial goals. When it comes to share markets, time is important. As we talked about in the first video, if you're planning to invest an amount of money for the next week, the next month, or even the next year, shares may not be right for you because we see all the time things bouncing up and down, and there's a lot of risk to investing in shares in the short term. So when you're setting about doing your plan, think about time, because time is probably the most important factor. Below this video, you'll see a link to a downloadable sheet that we have created, which will help you think about your goals and plan your investment strategy, if you like. Be sure to download that, take a look at it. You don't have to fill it in, but it might provide a good guide to setting about creating your own financial plan. So the most important thing that most people can do, and what most people don't do, is have a plan and write down the goals. When I started, I definitely didn't write down what I was trying to do, and I found out the hard way that it was probably a mistake. But some of the goals that you might have, and here I've just given an example, is pay down nasty debt, so debt that might charge more than 10% in interest. Get a budget, invest up to 20% of your wage. Maybe you can prioritize your investing above other things like eating out, and invest in yourself. This last one is particularly important. Investing in yourself is about reading, it's about listening, it's about watching videos like this and educating yourself so that you feel empowered and you feel like you're capable of investing and you're comfortable with what you're doing. So write down some goals. Maybe put them in your email or in your calendar so you can set a reminder and you can track those goals over time. One thing that many people don't do is they don't start small. Many of us do have a sum of money, so we might have, say, $10,000 or $20,000 that we've saved up in a savings account, and we think, oh, we'll go and put this in shares, and then you invest it, and the next thing you know, it's fallen off a cliff. It's important to start small because when you start small, you can be forgiven for making a mistake. If you lose 20% of $500, although it might hurt at the time, it's not as bad as losing 20% of $500,000. So start small. And I encourage you to even do this thing called paper trading. And that's where you simply look at the shares and you imagine that you did buy them, and you track their performance, say, over a few months to see how you would have gone if you did buy them. There's some online tools that you can use, but a lot of them are marketing or gimmicky, and they probably just set you up to do something you don't want to do. So paper trading, just looking at the names in the paper, imagine you had $10,000 and then in your mind put the money in those shares and then check them maybe every month or so. Okay, the next strategy, and this forms part of a broader plan, is to have a money buddy. It actually makes a lot of sense to find a friend, a family member or loved one who actually is invested in shares or wants to be and is interested just like you. It'll make the learning process so much easier. It's just like going to the gym. You find someone that might be stronger than you in one area and they can help you progress as an individual. So as I just mentioned, tracking your goals is important. One thing that many successful investors do is they write a journal. Some of the better investors have blogs, which you can read and are a great resource. But even just a journal, a diary, a note in your calendar that goes off once a month to say, hey, what did you buy this month? Was it a success? Something like that can help because it can give you a chance to reflect on prior mistakes and document any sort of research or useful information for the future. Okay, so that brings us through the end of this planning stage. Once again, look at the bottom of this video for a link to download our planning sheet, but also you can visit the Rask Finance website and find it there. In the next video, we're going to be talking about how to buy shares and some of the things that you should look for when you're doing so. As always, I'm Owen Raskovich from Rask Finance. Cheers to our financial futures.